Hello there, welcome to CXC Math TV. Today we will be looking at sine rule and cosine rule, a really nice topic. Alright, so now consider this non-right angle triangle here below. Consider the triangle PQR, and PQ is 7 centimeters, QR is X centimeters, and PR is 8 centimeters, and angle QPR is equal to 32 degrees. How do you find the length of the unknown side X? Now, we cannot use trigonometric ratios for this question, and so this is the need for sine rule and cosine rule. Alright? So we cannot use trig ratios because it is not a right angle triangle. So to find the length or angles inside non-right angle triangle, we're going to need to use sine rule or cosine rule. So let us go ahead and start with sine rule. What is this sine rule? Now, consider this non-right angle triangle right here, triangle ABC. And triangle ABC has angles common A, common B, common C. Now the sine rule states that the sine of the angles and the opposite side inside the triangle are in a constant ratio. What do we mean? What we mean therefore is the angle at A, which is common letter A, the side opposite to it is BC. So sine A over BC is going to equal to sine B, the angle at B. Which side is opposite to B? That's AC. So sine A over BC is equal to sine B over AC, and that's also equal to the sine of angle C divided by which side is opposite to the angle at C. That is the length AB. And that's all sine rule states. It says that the sine of the angle and the sides opposite to it for the triangle, they're all in a constant ratio. So look at this question right here. We are given triangle A, B, C, and all the sides of this triangle are given. AB is 8 centimeter, BC is 6 centimeter, CA is 7 centimeter, the angle at A is 47 degrees, the angle at B is 57.9, and the angle at C 75.1 degrees rather. Now using sine rule, the sine of A divided by the side opposite to that angle, which is BC, is going to be equal to the sine of B divided by the side opposite to that angle, equal to the sine of C divided by the side opposite to that angle. Now 47 degrees, the side opposite to that angle is 6 centimeters, that's BC. Cool. Now put that in a calculator. Sine 47 degrees divided by 6, that's 0.12. Now the sine of 75.1 degrees, 75.1 is opposite to the 8 centimeter. So the sine of 75.1 divided by 8, that is what? 0.12 again. Now the sine of 57.9 degrees, if we look at which side is opposite to it, that is AC. So divide it by 7. You're going to get what again? 0.12. So we notice that the sine of 47 degrees over 6 is equal to the sine of 75.1 degrees over 8, and that's equal to the sine of 57.9 degrees over 7. They're all equal. Nice. That is the sine rule. That is sine rule. Nice. So we just need to remember the sine rule, right? Once you remember the sine rule, that the sine of the angle divided by the side opposite to it, they're all in constant ratio, as displayed right here. Sine A over BC is equal to sine B over AC, which is equal to sine C over AB. Now, when do we use this sine rule? We use this sine rule whenever you're given two angles on one side and you need to find another side, or whenever you're giving two sides and a non-angle, and that is to find another angle. So let's look at an example because this is all abstract. So consider the following triangle right here. It gives us angle BAC is 30 degrees, angle ABC is 80 degrees, and we see that the length of AC is 5 centimeters, the length of BC is x, and it says find the length of x. Now, when we go about using sine rule, what do we know? We know that the angle at A is 30 degrees. That is going to be opposite to the length of BC, which is x. And also, what we do know is that the angle 80 degrees is opposite to the side of AC. So what we can therefore say is that the sine of 80 degrees over AC is equal to the sine of 30 degrees over x. And so therefore, sine 80 degrees over 5 is equal to sine 30 over x. We therefore transpose, so x times sine 80 degrees is equal to 5 sine 30 degrees. We just divide both sides now by sine 80 degrees, and so x is equal to 5 sine 30 degrees divided by the sine of 80 degrees. You put that into your calculator and you get 2.54 centimeters. And so x is 2.54 centimeters. Beautiful. And that is sine rule right there. So this question, it tested our knowledge when we get two angles on one side, we're able to find another side using sine rule. Now let's look at another question right here. Example 2. Consider the following triangle. We're given angle ABC is 31 degrees. Looking at the diagram, AB is 5 centimeters and AC is 7 centimeters. Find angle BCA. So to find angle BCA is the angle at C. Alright? So to find the angle at C using sine rule, look at it. Now the sine of 33.1 degrees, 33.1 is opposite to the side AC, and AC has a length of 7 centimeters. So it's going to be the sine of 33.1 degrees divided by 7. That's equal to the sine of the angle that we want, BCA. And BCA is opposite to which side? AB. And AB is equal to 5 centimeters. So sine 33.1 degrees over 7 is equal to the sine of BCA over 5. So we need to make the sine of BCA the subject. So we transpose. So we divide both sides by 7 to get sine BCA is equal to 5 sine 33.1 degrees divided by 7. And we get 0.391. Now, in order to get angle BCA, we need to take sine inverse. So sine inverse is going to then tell us that angle BCA is sine inverse of 0.391. And so angle BCA is 22.96 degrees. Beautiful. That's angle BCA. So this question here, we saw that we had been given two sides and an angle to find another angle. All right, lovely. Now let's look at a more challenging question. Now this question here says the diagram below shows a triangle with angles x, 50 degrees, 2x minus 35. It says work out the value of x and then hence find the length of BC. So go ahead, based on what we've done so far, pause the video and attempt this question. Now, in attempting this question, the first thing we should notice is that angles in a triangle do what? They sum to 180. Okay, so we know that angle x plus 2x minus 35 plus 50 should be equal to 180. So x plus 2x is 3x. And then the negative 35 plus 50, that's 15. So 3x plus 15 is 180. We can then subtract 15 from both sides. To get 3x is 165. We then divide both sides by 3. And so we get x is 55 degrees. Now that we get x is 55 degrees, we can now use sine rule to find what is the length BC. Now, which angle is opposite to the side that we want BC? The angle that is opposite to the side that we want BC is 2x minus 35. So the sine of 2x minus 35 over BC is equal to sine x over 12 using sine rule. But then what was x? X was 55 degrees. So we substitute x as 55 to get the sine of 55 degrees divided by 12 is equal to the sine of 2 times 55 minus 35 divided by BC. Now, 2 times 55 minus 35, that works out to be 75. So sine 55 over 12 is equal to the sine of 75 over BC. So we transpose and make BC the subject, and we get 12 sine 75 over the sine of 55, that is BC. And so you put that into your calculator, and so BC is 14.15 centimeter. And so the length of BC is 14.15 centimeter. Beautiful. That right there is the use of sine rule. Really nice. Now, let's go ahead and look at cosine rule now. Now, the cosine rule is used when two sides are given. The angle between those two sides must also be known. And then we're going to use that to find the third side of the triangle. Alright? So look at this diagram right here. The diagram right here, we're given triangle ABC. And they tell us that the length of AC is B. The length of CB is A. The length of AB is C. So now we know that using cosine rule, this is what cosine rule states. Cosine rule states that, look at it, the side in red, that is A square is going to be equal to B square, which is the length of AC, square plus C square minus 2 times B times C times the cosine of the angle between B and C, which is A. I know this looks pretty confusing, but let's look at it one more time. You're given two sides and an angle between it. The two sides that are given are AC and AB. Now the length of AC is B and the length of AB is C. So cosine rule states that the opposite side now that we need to find, the side opposite to the angle, in this case, that side A square, the unknown side that we want, when you square it, it is equal to the sum of the other two sides square minus 2 times the product of those two sides times the cosine of the angle in between the two sides. Now the best way to do it is with an example. With examples, cosine rule becomes a lot more clear. So for example, find the value of x given this triangle. We see this non-right angle triangle right here. We have two sides. One side is 17 meters, one side is 15 meters, and the angle in between it is 76 degrees. Now using cosine rule, we can say that the side that we want, the square of it, x square, is equal to the first side square plus the second side square minus 2 times the product of the two sides, 17 times the 15. Then we multiply that by the cosine of the angle in between them. The angle in between them is 76 degrees. So now 17 square is 289 plus 15 square is 225 minus 510 times the cos of 76. So when we simplify, we're going to get x squared is 514 minus 123.38. That's when we put that in our calculator. And so now x squared is just 390.62. So to find x, we square root both sides. And when we square root both sides, we get x is the square root of 390.62, which is 19.76. So x is this, and so x is 19.76 centimeters. Nice. Now let's look at another question right here. It says find the value of x. And we see that this is a triangle with sides 15, 20, and 30 centimeters. Now, using cosine rule, right, the side opposite from the angle, so that's going to be 20 square, is equal to the first side square, that's 15 square, plus the second side square, that's 30 square, minus 2 times the product of those two sides, 15 times 30, multiplied by the cos of the angle in between them. The angle in between them is x. So that's the cos of x. Now 20 square is 400. So 400 is equal to 15 square plus 30 square is 1125 minus 2 times 15 times 30, that's 900. So that's 900 times the cos of x. So we need to make x the subject, right? So we have 900 cos x is equal to 1125 minus 400. That works out to be 725. So 900 cos x is 725. We divide both sides by 900. And so the cos of x is 725 over 900. Now 725 over 900 is 0.80555. So that is cos of x. Now to make x the subject, we take cos inverse of 0.8055. And so x is 36.34 degrees. So the angle x is 36.34 degrees. And that's how we use cosine rule to find the angle in between the two sides given. Nice. Now let's do that one more time. Go ahead, pause the video and attempt this question. The three sides of this triangle are given to be 11 meters, 16 meters, and 19 meters. Find the angle x. As we pause and attempt to do this using cosine rule, we start by saying the side that is opposite from the angle x, that is 16. 16 square is equal to the first side square, 11 square, plus the second side square, which is 19 square, minus 2 times 11 times 19 times the cos of the angle in between them. The angle is x, so that's times the cos of x. Now 16 square is 256. So 256 is equal to 11 square is 121 plus 19 square is 361 minus 2 times 11 times 19 is 418. So that's 418 cos x. So 418 cos x is going to be equal to, we add 121, we add 361, and we subtract 256. And that simplifies to be 226. So 418 cos x is 226. And so cos x is 226 divided by 418, which is 0.54. So the cos of x is 0.54. And so x is cos inverse 0.54. That works out to be 57.3 degrees. And that is how we find angle x. So that's pretty much it. That's it for sine rule and cosine rule. So pretty much sine rule and cosine rule are used when we have non-right angle triangles. Once you remember these rules, you'll be fine. Alright, so stay tuned to CXC Math TV for more. Alright, and make sure to have a wonderful day. See you soon.